Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about a certain topic, and of course, it involves the situation around my wife. And of course, the user known as Ikris Asin. But I also, due to a lot of the problems that she has been facing, I will be rejoining for Affinity, and I will be rejoining Ink Bunny, primarily to support her online on those sites. But that doesn't necessarily change my opinion of what I believe For Affinity and Ink Bunny really are. For Affinity and Ink Bunny, there's a reason why Twitter had ultimately threw out Ink Bunny and For Affinity. And it's because it is a degenerate site. It has a lot of grotesque content. And it also brings us back to who exactly is Ikris Arsin. Am I pronouncing the name right? I don't care. This person, his entire profile is dedicated to absolutely grotesque stuff such as necrophilia, or depicting his character as engaging in necrophilia. And this is a good hint of what exactly is wrong with For Affinity, and how For Affinity represents the worst parts of the furry fandom in general. I will also make the argument that also both sides are to blame. Now, if I was in control of the situation, and especially when it came to what was going on with my wife, and the more I looked at it, the more I saw that Ikris Arsin was baiting my wife's reaction. And one of the things I made clear is if I was in this situation, I would not have fired back on this particular individual. This is somebody who wanted to get a response out by causing problems. My wife posted a post that was a retaliatory post, which, by the way, should not have been done. Also, I do not agree with how Mr. Afum Nazardian handled the situation. And that is another form of my criticism for that. But also, what other example of this particular individual? Now, For Affinity, and of course this individual, I looked through his entire profile, I looked through his entire gallery, and he does some very sick stuff. He's a very sick, demented person. And do I agree with exactly what my wife said about him? I do. I do actually agree with her on that point. But again, this is a situation that I believe both parties were at fault for. And if I was in her shoes, so to speak, I would have not have retaliated, or I would not have made a whole scene out of it. If anything, I would have just reported this individual on the spot, blocked this individual, and if the person was still watching me, I would report them for harassment because of their watch, to get their watch removed. But I would also make the argument that For Affinity is also a rotten website as far as enabling trolls and other disgusting people online. Mainly because when you block somebody on For Affinity, they still keep your watch and they still see the posts that you do, which enables further abuse. Also, I had my dealings with the administrators on that site, and they are beyond incompetent. They're beyond foolish. But yet again, that's what For Affinity is. For Affinity is a cesspit. For Affinity is the worst of the furry community. And as far as Twitter not sponsoring For Affinity, or not allowing links to For Affinity like they used to, or now X as they call it, I understand that decision. Besides, you take a look at For Affinity and you have no filters on, and it is one of the most degenerate places. And don't use the argument that my home country my home country does have a lot of stuff to do with pornography and stuff like that, of where I'm from. But you have to look at my background. Not all of India is like that. In fact, where my background is, first of all, I grew up as a Sikh in Punjab, India. And as a Sikh, my household and my background was very strict background. But again, this is proven my point once again that profanity isn't the best place possible. And you really have some really sick moralist degenerates like Icarus Arsene, which, but yet again, these are my quick thoughts on this. And despite my frustration and hostility towards the profanity side, I will be joining that site. I will be returning to that site primarily to support my wife. And of course, as a further deterrent. And I will be seeking potential reporting against this individual if this person violates terms of service against, and especially continues to harass my wife, continues to cause problems. But other than that, that is my quick thoughts on, of course, the situation involving profanity, and of course, the situation involving why the furry community is so hated and is depicted as sexual deviants. But other than that, you have a good day.